Well, we're on the way. And this one is played very nicely. The batsman opening up the face of the bat and started the run chase in fine fashion, chasing 118 for victory. First delivery outside the off stump, the batsman coming forward and just opening the blade at the last moment and runs it past the gully and down to the boundary for 4. Slip. Third man short, point, cover, and a long off. Those are the men in the offside. There's a slip in place. This one is outside the off stump, and the batsman looking for a wide there, but the umpire is not interested and did not call. He allowed it to go through. No chance of any type of run there. Testing. Okay. So 4 for no loss. And we're having field being changed over here. So another dot goes into the book on the third delivery. So on the onside we have a mid-on, short mid-wicket, and a backward square leg, all within the 30-yard circle. The batsman is hitting this one in the air. 1, 2, 3, and he rolls out to the man in the long off position. It was aerial for a moment over the bowler's head, but was in no danger of getting out there as the ball trickles out to the man in the deep. In the meantime, the batsman would, of course, for 1. So 5 for no loss. Trying to get the bowler's name in a minute and the batters. This time the batsman again is playing with soft hands out to the cover region. The fielder runs to his right, knocks it down. In the meantime, the batsman scampered through for a single. 6 for no loss. 14 overs in which to get to the 118 runs that are required for victory. So New England, they would have done very well in the first half in reducing and keeping the opponent to 117. And this time he's playing it to the man in the point. Can't score. So we've come to the end of over number 1 and they score 6 for no loss at the end of over number 1.
Now it's hard to get the bowler's number from the other. The walkie-talkie is not working with the umpire?
So the 2 batsmen that are batting, we had Sidish and we have Waleed. So Waleed, he is on 5. He has struck the boundary, first delivery he faced, and Sidish, he is off the mark, he is on 1. And the bowler, we're waiting for it to be electronically uploaded, and we'll give you that in a few. But in the meantime, the field is being put in place for the second over, and they're trying to defend 117. Outside the off stump, wide signal there by the umpire, and that one was well Well done by the wicket keeper because he was outstretched with his right arm. He was headed towards the second slip, but he did catch up with it. Ravi, that's the second bowler. So we had to get the first over. They allowed appeal, but the umpire is unmoved, not interested, and trying to do repairs for the stumps at the striker's end. All is well. So we have a short third man point, extra cover, and a man on the deep long off boundary. The batsman playing with soft hands, and the fielder can't prevent the run as the bowler tried to intersect that delivery, but the batsman was in no doubt that there was a single as they scampered through to take the total up to 8. So over number 2 of this 14 overs encounter. Sammy outside the off stump. The batsman is getting on the back foot, punching out to a cover sweeper. In the meantime, the batters would have crossed for 1. Takes the tally up to 9. And this time he is out. He went fishing at one outside the off stump. It was a wide delivery, and the batsman just hung his bat out, and he was left hung out to dry as the wicketkeeper took a smart catch, moving to his right. And again, that ball would not have knocked over 6 stump outside the off stump. But batsman trying to get to the 118, and as we know in 2020 cricket, you just do not want any ball to go to the wicket keeper. So you feel like you have got to get willow on the leather, but this time he got a thin edge outside the off stump, and the wicket keeper made no mistake in taking that one into his wicket keeping gloves. Well, the new batsman has made his arrival at the crease, and he settles in, having taken guard. The bowler with his tails up pitches one right up in the block hole on the onside. As the batsman gets off the mark immediately, as he just stroked it away to the short mid-wicket region and scamped through for a single. And how sweet it is to get off the mark, especially immediately after arriving at the crease. That little nerves that may have been hovering and the butterflies in the stomach would have been easily erased. This time the batsman is playing again off the pads, out to the wide mid-on, and they hurriedly completed a run. As we come to the end of over number 2. It's some 10 runs. 11. I'm taking away 1 from them. The electronic scoreboard, the big scoreboard, is a little behind. So this is the last game of the night. The evening skies are upon us. Been long, been upon us, and the God Waynes would have speared us. We just had little drips and drops here and there, but we're under the lights here at the park, and this time the batsman is swinging one, but it comes off the outer edge and goes down to the third man fence. In the meantime, the batsman would have crossed for only one. So perhaps they have runs put up in the bank someplace, because he was swinging to mid-wicket and he was beaten for pace as that one flew off the outer portion of the bat and went high over the man in the short third man area. And we are still in the power play, so there's no more than 2 men could be outside of the 30-yard circle, and those 2 men are placed at the cover sweeper and the long off area. Oh, this time the batsman comes forward, and it's a good delivery. He was up, he was swinging away from the batsman. Bowler, nice, lovely action. Seems to be aggressive in his approach. So he's bowling into the wind, as we have a northeasterly wind blowing across the grounds. He's making some adjustment to his cover sweeper, but I don't think that's what he should be concentrating on. When you're thinking about setting your man in the deep cover, yes, you want to concentrate outside the off stump perhaps, but you should be looking to get this man out instead of going to sweep a cover. This time it's up in the block hole, and yes, I think the ploy would have worked. He yorked him. So he probably tried a bluff in trying to tell the cover sweeper, move a little to your right, move a little to your right. And I was just saying, why would you be making an adjustment with the man who is sweeping in the cover boundary? I don't think you want the guy to be hitting your ball out there, especially so early in the inning. So what would have happened? He bowled a slower yorker. Batsman played all around it and over it, and had his off stump yorked. So New England is doing all their work to defend their meager total of 117. They would have sent back 2 batters in the hut. And like you know, in 2020 cricket, you could never put your money where your mouth is unless you have money elsewhere other than, yes, as my score would have said, if your pocket is deep. Because, man, this game can change on a dime. It can just change on the head, just like that. And we would have seen that earlier. We would have witnessed teams scoring over 200, having lost 2 wickets in the very first over. Cricket is a game of glorious uncertainty, and we're hoping that we'll have a mammoth crowd here tomorrow, being Saturday and Sunday for the finals. And again, we just want to say kudos to the Cricket Council USA. So we have a left-hander in strike. And he's playing this one off his pad square leg, and was touch and go. The throw came into the non-striker's end as he was a little slow in getting off the mark. But the batsmen are making no bones about it. When they get in, they want to get those butterflies out of their stomach. So they're scampering through for the first one. Once they get to the striker's end. And it's always a good feeling to get off your mark, especially sooner than later. You can settle down and you can have a look from the non-striker's end to see what the bowler is actually doing. As he bounds in and he hits this one in the air. A man is getting close to it and he takes a catch. Unbelievable. Believe it or not, they are defending and defending well, and he didn't get a chance to settle under that one. He took it on the one, and we're going to definitely have to have a replay on that, because I am sure that the cameraman cameraman would have caught up with that. The videographer, here it comes. And in slow motion, in the air, and here goes the fielder. He's running after it, he's running, and he catches it with an outstretched hand. And that's one for the highlights. Believe you me, that is going to be one for the highlight. Compliment MAQTV.com. So good work, cameraman, there in getting all that right and play. And for those of you who are live and stream and following this one, I am sure you're delighted. Effort. That one was all effort. Never give up. It was played in the air and away from any fieldsman, but he ran to his right, and I don't think that Usain Bolt would have done any better in getting to that ball than that young man. And my score is going to tell me the name of that young man in a while, but I applaud that effort. And there's a prize of $1,000 for the best fielder, and you never know. You never know. There are free adjudicators looking at all of the matches, so I'm not going to just put it in the bank and say, well, this is it. But I know Tim Silbury would have taken one earlier in the day when he was on the point playing for the Southeast team. And now this one, on the one. I just have to say unbelievable. Unbelievable. So the third wicket has fallen. This one, the batsman is turning it around the corner. He's going to run into the boundary. We'll wait and see if... Yes, he did get some willow on it. And again, then wasting no time when they get on strike. And he just had to catch up with that. It was turned away off the pad. He was badly lined. He was outside the off stump. But in that over, there's a successful one in that where the bowler would have picked up 2 wickets. But in his last delivery, he strayed outside of the line of the leg stump, and the batsman, just all he had to do was to just get bat and ball, and the rest was history. Oh, and this one would go into the boundary. It was a thick outside edge in which the batsman just had a whack at it outside the off stump. There's no slips, and the third man is rather wide. So there was no chance of anyone catching up with that one, and it was quite pacey from the bowler. So we have 4s in succession, 1 from the last ball of the previous over, and the 4 from the first ball of this over. Outside the off stump, and this time the batsman reaches for that one, but can pass the man who is in the short third man area. But now he has gone to more of a backward point, and we have a straightest third man in place. Outside the off stump, and he plays this one in the air and over the head of the man on the point and the wide third man, and down to the boundary for 4 runs. So runs are coming off the bat and they're flowing. So 17 for the loss of 3 wickets. So these guys, they're scoring in boundaries, and not too many poles, not too many singles, but there are a lot of dots. And someone would be saying there are too many dots in the book. This time the batsman is whipping this one off the pads. The batsman, in the meantime, scampers through for a single, but the fielder, he didn't pick up on the first attempt, or else it would have been touch and go. And the umpire at square leg, he would have called into play if he would have picked that up and rifled it into the keeper who was standing over the stumps. But no damage done. 1-1 been realized. Batsman comes forward. Plays this one to the cover region. The fielder knocks it down. Can't score. So another dot goes into the book. So again, they're scoring in boundaries when they do score, and it's not coming often, and perhaps maybe not often enough. And here goes another dot from that final delivery. So he started by conceding a boundary, but in the end he came good, and they finished bowling a relatively good over, I'll say. So once again, New England, they're defending well. They did not make a lot of runs, even though it was a reduced over in which 14 overs have to be bowled. They batted their 14 overs, and at one stage they would have retired out a batsman looking for more runs, but they could get no more than the 117. So is this a bowling change from the southern end?
White, still white.
Oh, the same bowler. Yes, White. Yeah, that's his name, White. We finally caught up with his name. So again, he's more interested in setting the fielders on the boundary. Last time he did that, he was successful in the very next delivery, in which he uprooted the off stump. But no such luck this time. The one was well up to the batsman, who plays with a dead bat, and he gets it off the turf out to the mid-on, and he scampers through for a single. And they're asking that the side screen be moved, or if someone is in front of the side screen. Not too sure, but the batsman asking for something behind the bowler's arm. But nonetheless, all is well. As White bounds in, busy. He's punching this one past the mid-on, and I see the umpire hands seem to be outstretched. We'll see if it's a no ball and a free hit in the process. So White guilty of overstepping. Yes. So 2 runs in the process added to the total. And they're asking again for the side screen to be pulled a little to the... No, well, they're doing it wrong here. So the cameraman is right on top of that too. They've got to lift. There you go. Now they can push it. They're trying to make some adjustment to the side screen. I think we would have gotten it all worked out. So perhaps we might need to get a wider thing if they have to be moving the side screen. But this is a first, because it has not happened in the previous 3 games. So this is game number 4. No ball again, so he has still got to bowl over that free hit. That's an offer, so another 1 is added to the score. I don't know why would he be missing his 1. He has 2 wickets under his belt, and this is not his first over, so something must have gone off. So he has remarked it. He has moved the marker, and send it back about 2 meters. So we're still in the free hit play. And the batsman is playing it to the short extra cover and they can't score. So in the end, that free hit just cost him the one extra run in which he would have bowled a no ball, and the legal delivery for the free hit was eventually a dot that went into the scorebook. So again, searching for 118 for victory. It's slow going. The total is 26. And this one is in the air and away from any fielder. And I think it went all the way. Yes, it did. And like I said, luck and fortune, it favors the brave. Because it was a nothing shot, but for all it's worth, it flew up over the head of the batsman and the wicketkeeper and went into no man's land and over the boundary ropes for 6. And again, in 2020, it doesn't matter how they come. As long as it's added to the scoreboard and you're trying to march on to that promised land of 118 runs. Who cares? 33 it is for free. We're into the 5th over. Slow delivery and the batsman is stroking it nicely. Good cricket stroke this time. Goes out to the wider mid-off. And the long off fielder comes into play, moving to his left. As the mid-off fielder could not intersect. So that brings the left-hander into play. So White guilty of overstepping there twice in this over, having bowled a beautiful over in which we would have seen a brilliant catch taken. And 2 balls prior, he would have uprooted the off stump, yacked. And this time he aborted the one-up and he seemed to be limbering there. This may very well be his last over. So he would have bowled 2 no balls, guilty of overstepping. And this time, rather than overstep and cause his team an extra ball and the free hit, he aborted the one-up. He goes back from his long one. But he seemed to be in some discomfort. And this time he's stroking this one and he's out. He's gone caught behind. But he's not doing too well. So I'm sure his team would say, you've got to stay and finish your quota, young man, because you're limping, but you're getting the wickets. You've got all 3 from your spell. You've got 3 wickets now, 2 in 1 over, and now 1 in this one. So it's a mixed bag, really, in which he was guilty of overstepping. But in the final analysis, he got his man. So the new batter goes in and we'll bring him up in a minute. So once again, White at the top of his mark seemed to be in some discomfort. He's favoring the left leg. It seems he's looking into the turf as if to say, what am I doing here? But, you know, when you're taking wickets, I guess it doesn't matter because there's a prize for the best bowler. And no doubt White may very well have his eyes on the prize. But I think there's an under-19 bowler who would have taken some 8 or 9 wickets so far already. But nonetheless, he's fighting for all it's worth for his team. Slow delivery outside the off stump. And there again, I don't know if he'll be staying on or if he'll be coming off, but he's definitely in some discomfort. He may very well be taking the long journey back to the pavilion to rest perhaps a leg. You can see that he's struggling to return to the hut. But he did bowl a fine spell in which he would have picked up 3 wickets. And as I would have said before, he would have picked up 2 wickets in 1 over. And 1 wicket, I know it goes to his name, but I would say that the catcher, the one that really made that catch, has got to be given all the credit in the world. So here comes the young man. Tall, lanky, hovering some 6'5", 6'6", thereabout. And again, he's favoring the the left leg, and he knows he has to play tomorrow, and he wants to take his team all the way into the final. So Donna is there to give him some comfort, maybe a little massage. He probably would have pulled a muscle. If that was me now, I'll say I would have pulled a bone. So Donna, she has become a masseur. She's going to be taking care of her member. Then the batsman is stroking it past the covers. Gets 1 for his effort. It was a good cricket shot again, played all along the turf. But it would not played with any venom. It's just a push in the manner of a Charlie Davis out of Trinidad and Tobago way back in the 60s when he used to play those push drives. Then the batsman is edging outside the off stump, but there's a man on the 3rd man fence who comes across in the approved manner, goes down on one knee, effects the stop, and sends the throw back to the wicket keeper. In the meantime, the batsman would, of course, for a single. 35 for the loss of 4 wickets. Outside the off stump, the batsman had an almighty swing at that one, but it was quicker. It was beaten for pace by the time he would have played at that one. It was safely in the gloves of the wicketkeeper, who's standing up over the bails, as we would say. This one is in the air, and it goes out to the long on region. The man is getting under it, and he takes the catch. In the meantime, the batsman would have crossed. So we're saying that New England are defending, and they're defending well as the wickets are tumbling. Half of the side has been put down, so wicket number 5 has fallen, and it's fallen on the score on 35. So they're making heavy weather of this. I would just want to say it's a minimum chase, 118 in 14 overs. You know, in cricketing terms, we would say that's a no-brainer. But for whatever it's worth, we have to give credit to the fielding team. Many times, commentators, and I seem to be doing that myself at this time, not giving credit to the fielding team for keeping things in check. So let me go ahead and do that as we speak. The fielding team are making sure that they defend, and if you ask me, they are defending well. So the games that were on the outer fields, they are done and dusted. Inadvertently came off before the game was over. We haven't had an official report coming in from there. Thought Justin might have come a calling, but we have not seen him. So in goes the new batter, walking briskly. He would not be on strike as the batsman would have crossed. So he jogs to the non-striker's end. It took a little while in getting there. So 35 for 5, the scoreboard. The big Jumbotron would be corrected in a minute. This time the batsman is playing it out to covers. And the batsman in the meantime would have crossed for a single. So 36. which is some of the groundsmen are doing service in picking up debris from around the field that some of the cricketers would have left some bottles. This one is down the leg side and he's getting some bat onto this one and it will run away for four certainly. It does now. It crosses the line and we're waiting for the umpire to signal. No runs. Yes, so the batsman caught up with it, so it was 4 runs. He just had to get some bat in it. It was badly lined and it's an over in which he would have taken the wicket, but the last delivery he was naughty, guilty of straying into the batsman pads and he just flicked it away into no man's land and the fine leg fielder had no chance of catching up with that one. So it's man's age, it's 40, all of 40. And 40, 41. So we're going to be having a bowling change from the southern end, as White would have left the field, as they said. He was nursing a leg, and he has got to play a match tomorrow. And Donna, who was in the commentator's booth earlier, she's supporting her team all the way, so she may have sent a wink over there to the bowler and say, now you have to save yourself for tomorrow. You would have done your bit. So come on over and take a rest, and nothing's wrong with that. But I'm just saying that. I think he was really injured. You can see he was in some discomfort from our advantage point here. So we hopefully he's okay. And it's Friday night, and I don't know if the lights are going to be low. He was going to be going home to rest that leg. But nonetheless, we're wishing him a speedy recovery in whatever is ailing him. This time the batsman is coming forward and is giving. He's giving, and the batsman, I think, is he showing dissent? The umpire would have given him leg before the wicket. And he's not showing his bat to say he got some bat in it. But he's not a happy camper. I can say that. I don't know if it's because the 6th wicket will have fallen or he himself would not have made a worthwhile contribution to the run chase. But for all your worth, the umpire would have raised that dreaded finger, and it's like when you go to the medical doctor and he pronounces you dead. When the doctor says you're dead, I think we just have to say you are dead. So New England, if I were a betting man, I would say that they are in the driver's seat and they're doing mightily fine in defending 117 that they would have made when they turn at bat. So 42. We would have completed all of 6 overs. So they're going at 7 runs and over at this time. They're going to need much more than that. So here comes Southpaw. So wickets seem to be falling constantly from the southern end. White would have picked up 3 for himself from this end. And now so Fazal has joined the party, in which he would have taken up a wicket in his first over. So he's going to be going around the wicket. And he's bang and target. And the batsman can do no more but to play it back along the track, where he picks up and fields to his own bowling. Score remains on 42 into over number 7. They're making some adjustment to the field. They're bringing the third man up into the circle. And now he's being pushed back a little bit, but he came in a few meters. And this time he hits it in the air. There's a man getting onto it. He's circling, he spills it. And they were doing so well with their catches, and he he was pretty much unsure. He was on wobbly legs. You can tell from here that he never settled. He got around, he looked up into the night sky, and the ball came down in a hurry, hit him into the palm flush, and it just bounced flat dead on the ground, much to the disappointment and to the delight of New England. This one is down the leg side. The batsman plays at it, and in the meantime, the batsmen are crossing for two, but the wicketkeeper didn't get a chance to catch up with it. So 3 runs in effect, 3 wides as a matter of fact, as Faisal, guilty of straying down the leg side, he chose to bowl around the wicket. No, he's coming over the wicket to the right-hander, and he goes around the wicket to the left-hander. So he has got to bowl that one again. This time the batsman is coming forward. It's yes, no. And in the end, they made it home as the fielder ran in and tried to run the batsman out at the non-striker's end. But it was not to be. He made good his ground, and the score goes up to 47 for the loss of some 6 wickets. Yes, 6 wickets. So 7 overs has been completed. So half of the job has been done. So New England is. Yes. So New England, they're in the driver's seat. If I were to say that, at this time the wicketkeeper takes it smartly. Remind me of a Victor Charles behind the stumps. And he's asking the Skrillex umpire a question. And the Skrillex stands firm and says, "Young man, you've got to bowl at least another delivery to this young man, because I'm not going to send him on his way, because he was firmly grounded behind the popping crease." This time he's playing a cross-batted bat to the mid-off region. The fielder comes in, averts the stop, and the batsman in the meantime crossed for 148. So we're inching away to the half-century mark, but there's still a long way to go in getting to 118. But in cricket, you never know. Earlier in the day, Leon Francis was saying that 200 runs was more than enough. But we would have looked at the Southeast team, would have get to the same 216 and then went into a super over in which they would have won. And here is some runs here. Would they long leg catch up with it? No. So we have 5 runs added to the total, and that came via the way of wides. That one kept a little low. The wicketkeeper, who was keeping smartly, he's not to be blamed for this one. He was unsighted by the left-handed batsman and was pitched down the leg side, going further away from him, and he could not catch up with it, neither with gloves or pads. So the 50 comes up on the board. 52, 53. Yeah, and the drizzle, it's starting to drizzle here, but the match is on already. So if you have to go to the Duckworth Lewis, I think that the Southeast, no, the South Central, I think they are a little behind the 8 ball at this time, but this is not official. This is just me from my advantage point of saying some 53 runs from 7 overs. They would be somewhat behind, having lost some 6 wickets already. So good work out there in the deep with the man in the long off region running to his left and preventing the batsman from running a third. So they get 2 runs for that. Score goes up by 2 to 55. 56. I'm just 1 behind every time. This time smartly taken there by the wicket keeper. And if the umpire thought of a wide there, the wicket keeper would have pulled that in from outside the off stump in a flash. But I don't think that he will bamboozle the umpire. But I like what he did in aiding his team. If the umpire had any doubt, he'll be giving it to him. Because before you look, that ball was taken outside the off stump and it was over the stump. And this time the batsman is taking on the arm of the fielder, and they did so successfully. And they got 2 runs for the effort. And this time I'm going to give you the correct score. It's 58 at the end of over number 8. So 6 more overs to go to bring this night to a close. And we would have seen some absorbing cricket. We have seen some excellent catching and fielding. We have seen it all in the day's work, all in the day's play. We have had some interviews all around the grounds, and these going to be on MAQTV on highlights as they throughout the tournament and even after the tournament. So we'll ask you to tune to MAQTV.com. And again, you can follow the cricket on MAQTV, and MAQ is MAQTV.com/CCTV, and you can follow the online scoring to keep up with the scoring for those of you who are in tune to just following it on the scorecard. And you can even check your Facebook, because I understand the Facebook was filled with cricket scores around the grounds. Again, we want to say thanks to Leon for dropping by and for helping out. We're going to be having a bowling change, or would it be the same bowler, just making some adjustment to his field? We'll watch and wait and see when he turns and get the number. So Sidish, he is the new bowler. He's be going around the wicket and bowling to the left-hander, as you're seeing on your screen. So it's not a new bowler. It's the same bowler, but he was just adjusting the field, bowling to the left-hander. So Faisal, yes. And this time he's cutting well. He's passing the man at the short third man, and he's chasing it all the way to the boundary. And he goes into the boundary fence now for 4. The signal comes in now, acknowledged by our scorer. So that was a fine shot by the young man. He got on top of the bounce, was making some height on him as the ball was coming in from outside the off stump. As the bowler is bowling around the wicket, he seemed to be bowling drifters, just a slow, gentle medium. It takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little mini steps and bowls a full delivery, gets it past the bowler, but can't get it past the man down, stationed in the long off region. In the meantime, the batsman would have crossed for 1. The score goes up by 1 to 63. So the night's coming to a close, and the day's play is coming to a close. And for some people, the night may very well just beginning. It's Friday night, and we are live and lively here in South Florida. And we are like New York, where the town never sleeps. This time the batsman is playing with soft hands, but they're going to need much more than that. It's 64 for the loss of 6 wickets. And here's where I'm going to call these still the middle overs, because after this we're going to have a finisher. And if they're to finish and to get across the finish line, we're going to be in for a treat with some batting. This time it dropped in front of him. I don't know if you can get a replay on that, but was it a chance? Did he go all the way to hand? We are not sure. So we'll check and see. No, he bounced in front of him. And this time he's whacking this one down to the mid-on region. Long on comes into play. 1-1. So yes, we did have the replay and we had it in slow motion and the ball popped in front of him. The fielder made a gallant effort to effect the catch. So they wanted to make short work, looking for wicket number 7. But come to the end of over number 9. Yes, so we have the mark of the beast, 666, and upside down 6, which is 9 overs. So we can almost say 66 runs, 6 wickets, and 9 overs. But for those of you who are cockeyed upside down, you can turn that 9 into a 6. We have all 6 on the board. That's just my way of putting things. But we're getting off that 66 because there's runs in the making here for New England. They've scampered through for 2 more runs. We take the score up to 68. They're in pursuit of 118. That's the runs that's required for victory. But New England is doing a good job in keeping things in check. As this one is driven up to the wide mid-off. The batsman, in the meantime, would have crossed for 1, which brings the left-hander into play. Field changes over. We have a short third man, point, cover sweeper, cover, and a long off. We have a fine leg, square leg, deep mid-wicket, and a man on the long on boundary. This one is in the air. There's a man from mid-wicket coming in. Don't think he'll be able to catch up with it. But I thought the square leg would have had a better chance of going at that. But I think he may have put down one earlier. So in our local terms, we may have said he ducked the catch. But the man from the deep mid-wicket ran all his worth. I think he would have taken Usain Bolt to catch up with that one because he had to come from a long way. And that ball fell within the 30-yard circle. But in the meantime, they got 1. And here's more runs for the batsman as this one is swatted to the left of the man at the short mid-wicket and to the right of long on and into the boundary board for 4. So it's a good over so far for South Central. But no need to panic. This time he's driving, but he can only get 1 run as the fielder comes in off the boundary. Picks up at the end. No, I think we have 1 delivery left in the over. 75. So good partnership is building here, but they're going to need more than this. They're going to need boundaries and in terms of maybe 60s. And this time it's 1 bounce down to the man in the sweeper cover. But it was not a catch, but it was aerial for quite some time. But it dipped on him as we come to the end of over number 10. So 4 more overs to go, which is 24 balls. And we have quite a bit of runs here to get. Some 42 runs from some 24 balls. And I don't think my money would be on the batting team at this time because they would have lost too many wickets. But then again, it is a 20-20 type game, even though it's 14 overs per team. This time, same bowler. But as usual, at the beginning of his over, he tend to mislead us here by changing his field, even though the batsman has not changed. I think it's a habit. He's going around the wicket to the left-hander. And this time, he's swinging this one. 1 bounce to the vacant mid-wicket. Goes into the boundary board for 4. So with all the field changing that he was trying to do in the offside, he straight into the batsman pads. And he just whipped it away to the vacant mid-wicket boundary for 4. So 80 is the score. So we've gone out past the 70. And this time he's going again in that direction, but this time he can only get one for his effort, as the fielder would have adjusted in the mid-wicket area. Runs off the boundary and picks it up and limit the batsman to just 1 run. We're into over number 11. 14 overs is allowed in this game. And in South Florida time, we have gone long past 11 o'clock. It's 11:21 by my reckoning here. But the lights are still with us, and they're going to play this match in its entirety. And this time the bowler is guilty of straying down the leg side, and it goes into the fence for 4. So 85 for it. So it's a good over here for New England. For South Central, beg your pardon. So I don't know if the panic button is being pushed here. We can see White, he's up and still favoring that leg while he's walking. But I'm wondering if panic is setting in. I wonder if Donna is feeling her heart down there. She said no. She said no. She has all the confidence in the world that her team will take it home. All right. She say, you go, baby. This time another one added to the score, but they're going to need much more than that. They've been doing very well in that. They would have had 2 boundaries already, but they have got to keep going if they have got to get over the mark of 118 that is required for victory. The overs are running out. After this, just 3 overs. This time he hits this one, and they're going to take on the arm of the fielder. And good running there, good backing up by the non-striker. He was off to the races as soon as that ball was played along the turf. He probably wanted to get on strike because it was the batsman call, but nonetheless he got out of the blocks, and I know that batsman had to leave town because he was headed home. So we haven't had a dot ball in this over so far, so that's a good over, a good looking over. And it takes the scope to 87, and that's the Australian bad-looking number. So let us see if something would happen here. And he plays it back past the bowler, and they're going to be taking on the arm. Yes, no, yes, no. It was a little mishap in the deep, but the fielder kept the ball in front of him, and the batsman would take no chance. So we're down to just 3 overs left in this match, and 88 is the score for the loss of 6 wickets. So a nice partnership building up here, and instructions being carried out to the batters. Maybe to say, well, we have 4 more wickets to go. Maybe they can afford to just sacrifice a wicket if they can get some 20 runs or so from this over, which would make the equation much easier in trying to cross that line. But again, cricket is a game of glorious uncertainty, but I can tell you, New England, they're defending, and they're defending well. Since White would have left the arena, we would have seen just, I think, some 2 wickets, but the partnerships between these two seem to be going, and it's becoming a worry. This time the batsman is trying to play in the onside, but at this juncture, it doesn't matter how they come. So he got 1 in the offside, trying to get into the onside, but it's 1 that goes into the scorebook, and they're inching up into the 90s. It's an 89, 1 away from 90, and if you were to hit the 100 mark, the 18 would become very small. But if the last over and they have about 18 runs to get, I think I'll favor the fielding team, but that is just me, and cricket is not played in the commentary booth. And he's swinging this one in the air, and the man is down there. He's steadying himself. Will he take the catch? Yes, he does. And in the meantime, the batsman crossed. And like we said, the instructions were to go. The instructions came out, and he gave it a swing, but he had the height, but he never had the distance. And much to the delight of Donna, he jumped for joy when that wicket went down. And she's dancing and dancing. And I can tell you, man, she's one confident lady. We had her earlier, and she's backing her team to the hilt. And not just her team, she's supporting cricket. She's one of the regional directors, and she would have said when it's cold, she finds a way in South Florida, and it's very, very much welcome here in South Florida, and we're gonna call it first home. And when she go further afield, when it gets hot over there, then she enjoy the weather further north. So the bowler is doing a good job with a wicket under his belt. Bowls one right up to the batsman, and the batsman can do no more than to push it out to the long off region for just a single. Oh. This time the batsman is trying to swing one from outside the off stump, but can't catch up with it. Taken there by the wicketkeeper cleanly. And I myself must be getting excited here. I'm swinging in a chair here and I'm knocking over the video camera equipment, and that's not good for viewing. So I beg your pardon if I would have caused some cockeye viewing, but it's a thumbs up and it's a go. In the meantime, the batsman would have crossed for a single. Like I said earlier, we had Eddie Edwards with us, but he would have retired for the evening, and Leon Francis. So I've left standing, and the cricketers are trying to hurry up. At the same time, the ground staff, they're at the ready because it's sprinkling here, and I think the umpires are they going to be? Well, they've made their mark, and we have completed over number 12, so 2 more overs to go. And like we said, the fielders have got to get it going, and we have got to get in 12 deliveries quickly so that we can have the completion here without going to the Duckworth and Lewis method. And the umpires, they would have been in position a long time, and you can see umpires there pushing the fielders around. It's gone past 11 o'clock here, and it's 11:28, just 2 away from 11:30. So the spin bowler is on, and I think we're trying to speed things along there. It's not over by the shout. It's still 92. This time it goes gone big, yes, and the sprinklers are coming on, and this time, for whatever reason it is now, I think we are going to be having the end of this match. So the Duckworth and Lewis has got to come into play as the umpires are pulling the stumps and the covers are coming through. They're going to brave the water here with the sprinkler. Yes, and I don't think the water will wet the wicket because the sprinklers are away from the water, but yeah, well, I think they had no choice this time. Yes, well, like I said, the sprinklers are set to come on. They normally come on at 10 o'clock. They set them to come on this time at 11:30, but they should have, I think they should have told the officials when the time would have changed so that they could have said, listen here, at 20 after, we're going to be bringing this match to a halt, and it doesn't matter where we are. But the Duckworth Lewis comes into play, so we're going to wait for the official umpires. They're going to be giving the word. But for the viewers over the online, the match has virtually come to an end when we had just some 11 deliveries left. We had some 7 wickets would have fallen, and I think that's going to count for something. But this over seemed it would have been a fruitful one for South Central, because the first delivery was a loopy full toss that hit in the direction of the covers, and here it is. I think the wind, if it weren't for the covers, the wind would have been blowing some of that water right onto the wicket. I think they need to change the angle of that that sprinkler, because this wicket should be wet manually or under the supervision of the curator not just that the sprinkler comes on any old time and wet a wicket. But, folks, that brings us to the end of this proceeding. We're just waiting for the umpires to come and give us the end result. Unofficially, I'm declaring the New England team winners by virtue of the Duckworth-Lewis method, and if they were to use a net one weight, I know they would have been on top. But either way, we're going to be having a winner, and we just have to wait for the umpires to just let us know who would have won, lost, draw, tie in this game. So until such time, we'll just wait until they approach the scorers table. Well, I can see Donna, she's jumping for joy, so she would have declared herself the winner. Donna, are you sure? We have to get it official. Well, she's the winner. Oh, it's official. Okay, it's official. Well, we just need to know by what margin so that we can announce it. As soon as we know New England would have won the match, we have heard that, but by what margin? By 10 runs? Okay, by 10 runs, so you can... Okay, so Garish, as soon as you can get up to the scores table, we will have you just finalize the scoring here for us, as everything has come to a close here at the park. So congratulations to the New England. They would have defended, and they would have defended well. They won by 10 runs. So it's official. They are the winners by the Duckworth-Lewis method, winning there by some 10 runs. So show me your trophy. Show me your trophy. And you take care of yourself, Mr. White. We have to make sure that you're in good stead. In South Florida here, we take care of all the visitors. 2 trophies now for man of the match. I am telling you, man, the hard ways are stocking up here for New England. And Mr. White, I'm telling you, that's why Donna said, I'm going to rub your leg because you've got to get a third. Oh, my goodness. Well, Mr. White, when I go up, I want to be just like you. Well, folks, that's all we're having here from our commentary booth here. Tomorrow, match get on the way at 1:30. I know by 12 o'clock you might very well be in the park. But we want to say thanks to the videographers, thanks to the scorers, thanks to the officials, thanks to the umpires as well, and all who would have lent a hand. And for the team that would have gone down, the South Central, no love lost. They would have given it all their worth, and in the end, cricket was the good winner, so they themselves should be applauded, and they would not walk away with their head bowed. You never know, that last over would have started with a 6, and 6 sixes in a match. And earlier today, on the outfield, 34 runs was realized from 1 over, in which one batter would have hit 5 sixes and the 4, and the 4 itself was questionable, but nonetheless he was awarded a trophy. And we did interview him. Mr. Qureshi brought him in front of the cameras, and we just want to say thank everyone for day's play, and for those who would have prepared the food as well. We just want to say thanks to them as well. Thanks for the caretakers, and for even those the cleanup crew. We are saying thank you, and tomorrow we will see you here at 1 o'clock for a 1:30 start. 3 games. Okay. And for you folks who did not eat or who are in need of seconds, there's some food still on the inside. You can feel free to take them away. And back in the islands, we say before we let good food waste, we let the belly burst. So guys, no shame in the game. You can go on inside, get to yourself a plate, and tonight when you're in your hotel, you can share a plate with a friend if he would have gone before you, or if you yourself want to stay up late, look at some TV or something, there is food on the table. So feel free, participate, get your meal, and get home safely. For those who are driving and those who are going to be shuttled, just be in the ready position. The shuttle would be here shortly. Good night, everybody. Yeah, data for the 70%. Yeah, I feel it had the food in it. For them to say 10, so the food, yeah.